he's talking about anxiety being gone. I'm absolutely shitting myself, and no matter how many of these, I always shit myself. But I'm going to go through it anyways. So I'm Mushy. I'm an online personal trainer. I mainly focus on kind of fat loss and stuff like that, and changing people's narratives surrounding health and fitness and stuff, because I feel like there's too much focus on the nutrition aspect and not enough focus on the mindset or mental health aspect in behind it, because it was a massive part of my own journey. I'm so nervous. Because I normally have a microphone, so it means I can speak really, really quickly and everybody can hear me. But because I have to speak loud because there's no mic, I have to slow down and talk. But we're going to go through it anyway. So this picture on the left here is me. Yes, I still have the same fat head and shit haircut. Except for back then, I didn't pay my man to cut my hair. Now I'm paying some fucking barber to fuck me up every week. But anyways, that was me back then. Sadly, that's when the smile started to die shortly after that, as I came towards here where I started putting on a bit of a fake smile. And the reason was because I was a quiet child. I was constantly bullied all the time, through primary school, through secondary school. Literally, as far as I can remember, I was bullied. Whether it be I just got slagged off at the start and I was too quiet to stand up for myself, but slowly that got worse. And what started to happen is because I was so quiet, I never spoke to anyone or never kind of spoke out, and I kept it all to myself. And there was one way in which I knew I could deal with those emotions, and it was turning to food. And so that's what I started to do. But then the bullying got worse because I was getting bullied for being overweight or having fat. And that kind of got worse and worse, because the more I was bullied, the more upset I'd get. And because I was quiet, never spoke to anybody, I just turned to food more and more and more. There's one specific moment, it was actually probably around the time that this picture on the right hand side was taken. I was on the way home from, I don't know, I'm nervous. I need to calm down. Yeah, I was on the way home on the bus from school, and it's like an hour and a half journey on the way home because it dropped every fucking cunt the way. Of course, I was the last house, and I used to fucking hate it. But there was one guy that got off the stop before me, a Russian guy. Not that that matters. I don't know why I bring that up. Anyways, every time I think of him, he has like the James Bond Russian accent, like this little bastard. But he sat beside me the whole way home, and the whole way home he was calling me fat. Literally the whole time he was like, "You're fat, you're fat." The whole hour and a half home, he never stopped once. Every single time the whole way, bullied the shit out of me the whole way home. I actually wrote this here because I was nervous and I was like, I'm definitely going to forget. But anyways, I was sat on the bus and he was calling me fat. I remember I got off the bus and I was like, never going back on that school bus again. I was crying the whole way home because I used to have to walk a little bit to get back. And I remember straight into the freezer, and I went for ice cream. Ice cream was the one thing that I absolutely fucking loved. I still love it to this day. And it's one thing that always gave me comfort. But because I was kind of fat shamed and told I was fat and overweight, and always told that ice cream is bad and all these foods are bad, I actually used to start to hide it. So like my mum would buy 2 tubs of ice cream at the start of the week because she knew I ate the fucking things. But they'd disappear and she wouldn't say anything. She was the only person in the house that wouldn't say anything, but my brothers and sisters would slag me off and be like, oh, you're the one eating all the ice cream. And I was, but the thing was I was so shamed and so anxious about it and so kind of bullied for being overweight that I kind of hid it. So yeah, that was kind of my story being back then. And this is one of the things that I kind of wanted to touch on, is that being fat or having fat isn't as simple as just eating too many calories or just turning to ice cream or just because you eat too much or because you're too lazy. If you can get this up on your phone. If you just scan that QR code, you'll be able to have a look. But this diagram here is the obesity mind map. So it's essentially the things that cause and lead to obesity. I'll just give you 2 seconds to scan up because it's actually really interesting. If you just bring it up and realize how complicated that actually is. That it's nowhere near simple. In there, it doesn't say anything about being lazy, or it doesn't say anything about being shit or not a good human being or anything like that. I'm sorry if it's a little bit small. Yeah. I'll get out of the way. My fat head is still being a little bit of an issue to me. But anyways, the middle part there, if you can just see where I have calories in, calories out, that's kind of the part that you just hear on social media. You don't really hear much more about anything else. Like the rest of the map is kind of just ignored. And it's just like, oh, just eat less calories, move more. Sure, that's easy. And it makes you feel even worse because no matter what I was doing throughout my life, I just never found that part easy. And I then blame myself and be like, I'm shit, I'm lazy, I'm fat, I can't stick to things, and I'm useless. So not only was I being bullied by the outside world, I started to be bullied by myself as well. And that made things even worse, to the point where I just started to turn into food even more. I think my highest ever weight was 130 something kilos. I was afraid to step on the scales at the time. I was actually afraid to take pictures. I would never get in pictures. And it was one of the things that held me back massively in my life was dealing with weight, and then the self-inflicted pain of constantly blaming myself for it, but not realizing that it's super complicated like this here. So if fat loss is so complicated, where do I start? And that's often the question that I get from people. Probably the most common question I get on social media is like, Oisín, where do I start? How do I get started with fat loss or weight loss or whatever? And I suppose the thing that I kind of target is the low-hanging fruit, the things that are simple, the basic things that you can do, because when you make it simple, it's easy to achieve. So This isn't simple. A lot of people think, oh, sure, going to the gym is the simple part. Let's just start with going to the gym. It's not that simple. Just eating a deficit, it's that simple. And these are the big steps that people set themselves. But if I was this small of a human being and I'm looking at these big steps that I've climbed up, the first thing I'm going to say to myself is, that's a cunt. Not a chance am I going doing that. So what I want to start to do is just break it down even more and make it as simple as possible. So again, these are the steps to go to the gym. It makes things much easier because putting my runners on, everybody can do that. It's not that difficult. Okay, I can put my runners on and that's a step forward. I can then throw my gear bag into the car. But for some reason, we just skip all of this and we're like, oh, you just have to go to the gym, and if we fail to go to the gym, we're shit. But if you just start with the small, simple things, it makes things easier and breaking it down step by step. Because then, when we reach the point where I put a bag in the car, it's like, oh fuck, the steps ahead aren't that bad. Now all I have to do is drink a glass of water and book my gym class. And then it becomes simple. It's not a big thing like, oh, just go to the gym. The second part of this is then, it's a pain in the arse to take your bag out of the car and take your runners off to just go sit down and lie down on the couch and do fuck all. So sure, I've already done that. It's an effort not to go now at this stage. So breaking it down and making it simple. And that's kind of one thing that massively helps with weight loss, especially when you're looking at it, because it can be so overwhelming and so hard to get a grasp on because it is so complicated and there's so many different things. But that's the first part of it. So now back to this complex equation and we're going to solve it. So the first thing I want to do is go through this less complex equation to make sure that we can solve this more complex equation. So this is less complex. Does anyone have an answer for it there real quick? I'm going to ask someone. Shout out, whatever you think.
Oh, I don't know.
And let me see who I can choose. I'm going to get you. Just random number, whatever you think.
It's like 11.
You're absolutely shit at maths. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. You're useless.
Don't fucking start.
You're fucking shit. I didn't think people could be this bad at maths. What's the answer?
0, no.
So is it, just before I go on, is it harder for someone to answer after I'm slagging the shit out of you for being shit at maths? Does it make you want, does it make you want to answer the thing again?
For smoke.
Yeah, it makes you not want to get sick. So with fat loss, for some reason we see it is different, but yet it's a more complex equation. Yeah, if we don't solve it the first time, we beat ourselves up over it and give up. But in here, you're looking at me strange and I'm saying this, but I guarantee you do that to yourself all the time. With small little things that you do in your day-to-day life. You beat yourself up all of the time. But yeah, it's a much more complex equation than what we have here. So this is the thing. Now, €100 for the correct answer. Stick up your hand and I'll pick up one. No, Claudia, no. No. 0, no. No. Okay, stop.
5.
No. Okay, so see how for €100 you're trying again to get the right answer. But when it's yourself with things with weight loss or fat loss or whatever it is you're trying to achieve, instantly when you fail, you beat yourself up and you give up altogether. But for €100 you don't give up, but on yourself you do. It's funny really, how for €100, which is so insignificant, you'd probably piss it away in the fucking coffee shop this gun's going to later on. But the thing is, you instantly want to go back. For €100 you're doing that. So again, it's super important to kind of look at this and be like, so if I ask one of you then to come up here and I said every wrong answer that you get, you have to come up and do 50 burpees. I guarantee you nobody's going to answer the fucking answer to the question. There you go. So the more you punish yourself and give out yourself for these sorts of things, the less likely it is that you're going to succeed. Because I guarantee you, if you started at 1 and you just started shouting out every fucking answer, eventually you're going to get to the answer. The answer is 7. So nobody gets €100 and I keep it, thank fuck. And by the way, I'm shit at maths as well. It's funny, my maths teacher used to slag this shite out of me all the time for being so shit. She can go fuck herself now because I know the answer, nobody else does. So yeah, 7 is the answer. So on to the next part. So again, it's support and the support of yourself that really brings you closer to the answer. It's looking at things in criticism and looking at things of giving out to yourself. Come to an easy answer. The easy answer is I'm useless, I'm shit, I'm overweight, I can't stick to things. But if you look at it in curiosity and being supportive of yourself, you actually come to the real answer. Because if I overeat, and it's a thing that I end up binging, if you look back at criticism, you're the shit person, that doesn't solve what just happened. If you look back at it and be like, okay, why did that happen? Maybe I didn't have my breakfast. Maybe it's that, maybe my menstrual cycle's coming up and I'm a little bit more hungry. Maybe it's that I'm under a little bit more stress and that's why I've turned to food. Turning to curiosity as to the issue leads you to the correct answer. Blaming yourself and using shame and guilt and outside sources using blame like guilt and stuff like that as well, it is not going to lead you to the answer, it leads you to the simple answer. So again, it's that support that absolutely changed my life. My older brother there on the left hand side, he started me off in the gym, and I don't know if any of you here have an older brother, but when you have an older brother, they're literally the coolest person on the planet. Whatever they do, you just literally follow them all the time. Doesn't matter if they're fucking, I don't know, doing some crazy shit, you're like, yeah, I'm going to do it because he's doing it as well. So I followed him every step of the way, and he brought me to the gym, and the difference between him and everybody else that tried to help by calling me fat and telling me I was overweight and useless is this actually worked because he was there to support me. Every step of the way, he was like, no matter what happened, he was always by my side, and he was like, oh, you'll be okay, Oisin, we'll just go on, we'll start again tomorrow, we'll do it again, and I'm there with you every step of the way. And that support changed my life, and that's kind of what I've come here to do, to try and throw that support out to other people and maybe let people realize that fat shaming and talking down to yourself and talking down to other people doesn't help anybody's situation, only makes things worse, and at least it did for me. Let me go on here. So yeah, back to the ice cream. I fucking love it. This is from the lads group chat that I actually clicked into, and every time they take pictures of me with ice cream and they just put it up there and slag the shite out of me. One of them goes, you can take the man out of Ireland, but you can't take the ice cream away from the man. He can't be stopped. To this day, ice cream literally runs my life. I absolutely love it, and it wasn't the issue with my weight because I can still have it now and I'm at a healthier place and happier place in my life. So I'm going to go back to ice cream because it really taught me a lot of lessons. And Gandhi actually has a quote about ice cream. I don't know if anyone's heard it. Has anyone heard it? No. Right. Be an ice cream cone, not a cunt. I can confirm it's a factual statement from Gandhi. So I love ice cream. It made me gain all the weight I ever did because I used to always turn to it again, that guilt, that shame. I kind of talk about in here as well with the feeling of badness around food, because everybody was like, ice cream is bad. Ice cream is the reason you're fat. You need to stop eating ice cream. But that never really solved the issue. It actually made me feel worse because every time I ate the ice cream, I became bad because I was shit for turning to the ice cream that is just shit food, and instantly I'd feel like bad about it and I'd feel more sluggish and I'd feel more shit, but because the thoughts I had around the food rather than the actual food itself. And it's funny that you'll actually catch yourself doing this. Like instantly when you go for a takeaway, it might not actually be that the takeaway is necessarily making you feel shitty after. It's the fact that you're feeling shitty about the so-called shitty food that everybody says is shit. And that's kind of the main thing. So ice cream, that used to piss me off when people say, oh, ice cream is bad. But I'm going to get you to agree with a few things here. And if you disagree, you can fuck off. Can we all agree ice cream isn't as good without the cone? Hands up if you agree. You need the cone. You don't have a cone. Fuck off. You're going to ruin it. If you don't agree, you're going to ruin it. Stop. And the cone, I'm an ice cream connoisseur, right? It got me 240 kilos. I know what I'm talking about. And the ice cream is shit without the cone, and the cone is shit without the ice cream, right? No one's going around eating ice cream cones by themselves unless you're actually fucking weird here. We won't make you admit it here in front of everybody else. So I've seen sad cunts with just a cone, and I've seen sad cunts with just an ice cream, but I've never seen a sad cunt with an ice cream cone. Fact statement. And that's why an ice cream cone is better. So I realized ice cream was the solution and not the problem. So I'm going to talk you through it. I'm a motherfucker for analogies, so if you don't get this, I explained this to my mom yesterday, and she's like, oh, she's not having a fucking clue what you're about to send there. So if this is shit, please delete that, pretend you never seen this, and we're going to move on to someone else next. So welcome to the stupid cunt quiz. What melts faster, the cone or the ice cream? Hands up if you think the cone melts faster than the ice cream. The cone never melts. Oh, fuck. Hands up. Hands up. You failed this quiz already, and it's called a stupid quiz. I'm only messing. Hands up if the ice cream melts faster than the cone. So I used to let my scales, my weight, and my body dictate every single part of my life. I actually missed my 6th year graduation and my TUI graduation ball because of my weight and the way that I felt in my clothes. It was the one thing that held me back from everything. It actually held me back from so much of my life. There's like a period of like 5 or 6 years there where I literally refused to get in pictures. So I just literally do not have pictures from that time of my life whatsoever. When I think back to those memories, like even going on holidays with my parents, we actually had one family holiday before my mum and dad split up, and it's one thing that I'm absolutely raging about. I have no pictures on that holiday, have no memories from that holiday because I was just a recluse and used to keep all my clothes on and just stay away from the sun or whatever and try and hide my body and hide things, but it held me back from so much. And that's actually one moment that stands out because I think family holidays are a big massive thing for most people. I've never ever experienced one properly because I was so held back from the way that I looked. And so many people here are probably similar, like hands up if you've ever held yourself back from doing something because of the way you fit into clothes, because of your body, or because of your weight, because you stepped in the scales your weight. Everybody here, I'm sure everybody has had that at some stage, but I always think back and it's something that really sticks with me. So again, my analogy, life is the ice cream, right? We're going to get into it, hopefully you understand. And if you don't understand, it's not that you're a stupid cunt, I'm the stupid cunt, I agree. So it's more important because it doesn't last forever. Going to the beach, wearing the clothes you want and doing the things you want, you're not going to be able to do those forever. Eventually, at some stage, it's going to go. It's going to disappear. You're not going to be able to go on holidays anymore. You're not going to be able to hang around with your kids in the park anymore. You're not going to be able to wear that bikini that you want on in Spain or whatever it might be. It's all going to pass. Your life, these memories and stuff that you're making with people are going to pass. Your body is the cone. I can't do that. I don't fit into these clothes properly, or the scale number. As we said, all these things that are holding you back. That's the cone of the ice cream. It doesn't go away as quickly. It's something that's there. You see, whether you have a small ice cream cone or a big ice cream cone, you still have an ice cream cone. Hopefully this makes sense. I'm praying. You're currently worried more about eating the cone, not realizing, according to the stupid cunt quiz, the ice cream melts faster. So many go day to day with your lives and you're so worried about the way that your body looks, the things that you're fitting into, the numbers on the scales, that you're holding yourself back from even being present in a room with all these people at this event. Because so many will be here and pulling in a t-shirt or looking at yourself before you're coming out here and realizing that actually none of that really matters, because that's not really going to matter when your ice cream cone is on its last little drop. What's going to matter is the ice cream that's left there. And I think so many people hold themselves back from experiencing life. So you're so worried about the cone that you hold yourself back from enjoying the ice cream. And it's one of the things that I want to bring back to people, is to start enjoying the fucking ice cream. I'm reminding you too, because eventually it'll be too late and you will realize that your ice cream has melted or your life has gone. And when you look back and realize, you'll realize the enjoyable part wasn't the cone, and it's not something that you'll even remember. Yet you spend so much time worrying about it until your ice cream cone is no more. Please make sense. That doesn't mean just eat the ice cream and fuck out the cone, because as we said, we need the ice cream in the cone. Because it's fucking enjoyable, Carl, fuck off. It means build a cone that supports your life rather than takes away from it. Rather than I have to do this to lose fat, how does it make you feel? How does exercise and nutrition make you feel? How will this help support the things that I want in my life? That's considering the cone and the ice cream. Fitness and health should add to your life, not take away from it. And I actually look like my mum took this picture with me when I was on holidays.
That looks like a sad cunt.
Yeah. Your memories and the things you do in your life will stay with you longer than the memories and scales, because nobody ever thinks back to an ice cream and says, that cone was class. Not one single person has ever gone to an ice cream shop and been like, yeah boys, that cone was unbelievable. It's always the flavour ice cream, that Kinder Bueno ice cream, or whatever life you lived is the important part, not your body. Your body is going to be around anyways. So again, I did lie to you, that quote was actually from me, because I said if I put Gandhi up there you might listen a little bit better than seeing this cunt standing up here speaking to you. But that is my talk. Be an ice cream cone, not a cunt. Consider both parts of your life, not just one. Thank you so much.